What's going on, guys? My name's Josh and I'm back today with another Scream 5 video. Before I get this video started, if you could please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now you better watch out because it's time to get this video started. Let's go. What's going on, guys? It's been a minute since I made a Scream 5 video. I hope everyone's doing really well. And yeah, we're a little bit closer to January 14th, 2022. A little bit closer to, Scream 5. And yeah, as we get closer, we're definitely going to get more information on the movie. I'm definitely real excited where once we get our first look at the movie, once we get our first trailer, I do still think we're probably a little ways away from a trailer, but it's definitely exciting that we're getting closer. Now, in the meantime, there has been a new interview with Courteney Cox on the Drew Barrymore show. First, I gotta say, I love that Drew Barrymore has her own talk show because anytime someone Scream related goes onto her show, she always brings up Scream. Especially with Scream 5, anytime someone who's part of Scream 5 goes onto her show, she will always ask them about Scream 5. And today did not disappoint. So I was definitely excited that, Courteney Cox was on Drew Barrymore's talk show. And Drew asked her, what can you tell us about Scream 5? And here is what Courteney said. So, this is the fifth one. It's not Scream 5 though. This is Scream. The directors are incredible. They're making it it's a new franchise. It's hip, it's scary. It's just a new Scream. It's not a reboot, it's not a remake, it's just a brand new launch. I think it's gonna be fantastic. So if you're interested in seeing the full video, I will put a link of that video in the description of this video. So there's a lot to unpack there, so let's first just recap it. So she said, this is the fifth one. It's not Scream 5, it's not a reboot, it's not a remake, it's just a brand new launch. So first let's unpack that. So it's not a remake. So what she's saying by that is, if it was a remake, it would be pretty much them telling the original Scream movie, just completely recast, but retelling that same story. So we'd have all those same original characters, just completely retold with a brand new cast. So it's not a remake, which I'm happy for. I would hate to see, the original Scream movie get recast, especially so soon, since, all the actors are still alive. I would think if you're gonna do a, Scream remake, I would be okay with that maybe like 40 years from now or sometime completely in the future, not so soon. So I'm definitely happy this is not a remake. Next, she said it's not a reboot. So if it was a reboot, what that would be is they would just be retelling a brand new story. None of the previous movies would count, and it would be them starting from scratch. So it's not a reboot, which I'm also happy for. I love the first, 4 Scream movies a lot, and I definitely want them to count. We've saw these characters go through hell in the last 4 movies, so to completely erase that, I would be really upset. So I'm definitely happy that those first 4 movies count. Now, she also said, this is not Scream 5. So my interpretation on that, when she says it's not Scream 5, what I take from that is, if this were to be Scream 5, it would be focused on Gail, Sydney, Dewey. They would be at the center of the storyline. It would be their story. It would be them telling another story with their characters focused. The focus would be on them, and it's not. So what I take that as is this new Scream movie is going to take place and focus on a brand new set of characters, which we already knew this already. It's gonna focus on, my guess is that whatever, why these killings start, it's gonna have something to do with the Carpenter sisters, played by Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. Something with those characters, something with their friend group, some kind of scandal there is gonna start this new killing, and this movie is gonna be focused on their characters. Now, I know in Scream 4 originally was supposed to be the legacy cast members passing the torch to the new characters, but that didn't really happen. And with this, I almost take it as this is going to be different because, we still saw in Scream 4 that the legacy cast members were still main characters in that movie, where I think with this movie, they're going to take a back seat where it's not even so much the legacy cast members passing a torch to the new characters. The torch has already been passed. So this movie is going to be focused on these new characters, and they just have to find creative ways, to include the legacy cast members. It's going to be kind of like a shared universe, a completely new, Ghostface story, killings, but, those previous movies still count. It's still in the same universe. Those characters are still in the same world. Now, one thing I will say is for Gale and Dewey, it's very easy to include them into this new Scream movie because of their jobs. So if, this new killer starts killing, it's very easy, to include Dewey in a storyline. He's a sheriff, so of course he's going to be investigating these murders. So even though he's not, the focus of the storyline, he still can be part of the movie because he is going to be trying to solve the mystery. Same thing with Gale. Gale, I assume at this point she's back into, journalism, she's back into reporting, and she is going to be trying to solve these mysteries, or at least, getting the scoop on why these killings are taking place. So it's very easy for them to be included into this new movie based on their jobs. Their jobs naturally take them, into, being included. Now, Sydney, I would say she's going to be the one that it's a little bit harder to include her, and it really depends on where she is in the movie. Now, if Sydney moved away, I think a lot of people are thinking, Sydney doesn't live in Woodsboro. She's going to come back to town because of a murder. A lot of people are speculating that, maybe Dewey dies, Sydney returns to, Woodsboro for Dewey's funeral. And that definitely could be a place, but I want to offer another theory. What if Sydney does, she lives in Woodsboro? I know it's kind of crazy because if I was Sydney, I would definitely move away myself. But let's say she lives in Woodsboro. She's sick of running away. She wants to put her past behind her. She's not running from her past anymore, and she just wants an ordinary life. What if she moved back to Woodsboro? She started a family, and she now lives in Woodsboro. And for me, I would see Sydney, as far as her job, would be something with helping people. Maybe she works at the high school. Maybe she's like a crisis counselor. Or who knows, maybe she's even the principal and she just wants to help mentor and guide young kids. Since, when she was in high school, everything was so crazy. She wants to help other people, now that she's an adult, she wants to help other people going through similar things. So my guess is maybe Sydney, works in Woodsboro, something with helping people. So it would just naturally have her involved in the storyline, but not be the focus of the storyline. So that's kind of my thing, as the legacy characters are going to be in the movie, but they're going to take more of a backseat, and it's going to be more focused on these new characters. So ultimately, it comes down to these new characters are going to be what takes, the Scream movies into the future. It's going to be about these new characters, less about the legacy characters. Which I think at this point I'm okay with. I love the legacy cast members. I do hope, some of them survive. I'm a little nervous, but, honestly, how many movies have we seen where, someone's trying to kill Sydney? How many family members are going to try to kill her? Like, at this point, I do think, she needs to take a break or just get a break. And, people don't need to be trying to kill her for a change. Let them try to kill someone new for a change, in my opinion. And, she can just be in the movie and still help. But she doesn't have to, the killer does not have to constantly be trying to kill Sydney. They can be trying to kill someone new for whatever reason. So, speaking of that, though, I do want to talk about something else. So, something that I was thinking about, shared universes. And it's kind of crazy to me that we don't have a horror shared universe. Now, you look at the Marvel movies, how, you had all these superhero movies and they come together for an Avengers movie, and it's just awesome. It's just crazy that we don't have a horror shared universe. And that's actually what made me originally think of this. Is I read a book called Final Girls, from Riley Sager, and pretty much what this book is about is it's about three different girls who went through like these murders on their own. So three just different tragic events, and they all survived the movie. So they kind of became Final Girls. And then in the book, there's a killer that's trying to kill all of the final girls. So just taking that loosely plot, I think that would be a really cool movie. And it's like, why don't we have a horror shared universe? Maybe not necessarily involving this storyline, but just that similar, topic. Why don't we have a horror shared universe? I would love that for the Scream movies. We already have, the Scream movies and Ghostface, all of that. But if, Spyglass, if they made a couple other, slasher movies in the same universe, they could do another movie revolving a new set of characters, a new killer, and even same thing, do a third one with another set of characters, another killer, and eventually you could bring all those 3 movies together, and it could even be called Final Girls, and we could have one killer trying to kill all these final girls. I just think that would be awesome, a horror shared universe, and it's kind of shocking that we don't already have that. In my ideal world, they would have did something like this years ago when Scream first came out. I would have loved if we would have had some kind of final girl movie, and we had, Sidney Prescott, Laurie Strode, Julie James from I Know What You Did Last Summer, just, all in one movie together where a killer's trying to kill all these final girls. I just think that would be so cool. Granted, that's in a perfect world. The studio has to own the rights to those movies in order for that to happen. But I definitely think, a studio should make a, some kind of horror shared universe. So I definitely would love it if that happened in the Scream universe someday. But I do think this will actually happen one day, but it's not going to be, I think, with the Scream movies. I honestly see this happening with the Happy Death Day movie and the Freaky movie. I think someone from part 1 of those movies said that, those movies are in the same universe, and then somewhere down the line, we might see a movie that combines, both characters. I think that would be awesome to do a horror shared universe. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for, Scream 5? What did you think about Courteney Cox's interview? Would you love a Scream horror shared universe? What do you think of that idea? Please leave your comments below, and thank you so much for watching.